All right, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to Chopping and Up with PScott. I'm PScott Kelly. Today is Sunday, November 19th. Glad to have you back with us. I got my dude Jay Hall of the Marvelous Live podcast live with me as well. You know what to do. Smash those 5-star reviews on Spotify. We will actually, I'm doing something new now. I would only put the audio version up. I'm gonna do the video now too. I'm trying to, express my dominance in the space, if you will.
You want people to see your face. That's what you want.
Well, I'm not pretty enough for that, but I appreciate your sentiment.
That's why I know you're not. That's why you got me here. That's why you got me here, bro. Glad I could be of assistance.
Yo, always salute you for your service, my guy. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Everything on the scroll right now. You can see we got PScott's picks. Jerry Jones is finally not being a jerk and let Jimmy Johnson into the Cowboys Hall of Fame, which we just found out right before kickoff. Draymond deserved, to me, way more than 5 games by the NBA. Ken Dorsey got fired. The Scape GOAT was everything else in between. What we'll do first, Mr. J. Hall. So, PScott's picks is something that I do pretty regularly, but I don't always make it out into the universe, right? But what I want to do is get your perspective on these things while these games are going on. So now you and I have already been talking, and you're watching right now, and you even told me, Justin Fields, that they scored on Detroit, right? You said?
Yeah, first drive. I think their first drive, they scored. They drove down the field, scored.
Okay, so it's going to sound really bad because I have Chicago +8. And this is going to sound like I did this bet 4 hours ago, but nobody knows this. But I want to get your perspective on this. So Chicago +8 is what I took. I don't think they're going to win, but Chicago +8, even though they've already scored, obviously that makes my line look better. But you agree or disagree?
I disagree because I think like the Bears have just been a model of inconsistency. The Lions are at home. The Lions are going to pick it up. I picked the Lions +3.5. I feel like, and the Lions line.
Where'd you find Lions -3.5?
Oh, alternate spread. Alternate spread. Feel me? Because I feel like Justin Fields would get offense some more juice, but the Lions are still the Lions at home, and I don't see the Bears maintaining their consistency all game. And the Lions offense is just going to be too much. Now that you got everybody healthy, so the Lions are going to be too much, in my opinion.
I understand where that would come from. And for me, I was thinking about if you're giving me 8 and you have Justin Fields, my thing is, again, I don't think that Chicago was going to win this game by any stretch of the imagination. But when I saw that Justin Fields was going to play as opposed to Bajan Zero, I thought, all right.
Yo, where's these names coming from, man?
I thought, okay, well, maybe Detroit scores like 24, right? But they might let Chicago get a backdoor touchdown or something like that. But the fact that the way that I'm looking at it now, because again, I didn't know this going into it, but Chicago already has 7, right? So at this point in time, I'm technically Chicago +15.
Yeah.
Which I feel pretty good about.
Yeah.
Next, I got the Dallas Cowboys are -10.5 against Carolina. This is the way that I see it. I hate taking double-digit favorites. I don't like doing it. I feel like it's largely a trap game. But Dallas is also the other thing. They are the trap game. Dallas is always the trap game.
Dallas is the trap game. But I took the bait.
Exactly.
I took the bait.
Every week they're the bait. But what they've done is on trash teams, they beat the absolute dog out of bad teams. And Carolina's a bad team. So 10.5 is a big pill to swallow. But I thought, you know what? I'll go ahead and take them. I took Dallas -10.5 against Carolina. You agree?
I did. I did too. I was because I'm like Bryce Young, man. Now Bryce Young decides to look like prime Russell Wilson today. I'm gonna be a little bit pissed off.
Oh, because you're a Seahawks fan. I was like,
no. That has nothing to do with it. I still love Russell Wilson. Anybody who knows me knows I want Russell to do well. If Seattle can't win a Super Bowl, I want to see Russ win another one. So nothing to do with Russ. It's just like
much better this year.
Nah, he has. It's nothing to do with Russ. It's just like I don't want Bryce Young to do well today when I picked the damn Cowboys spread. Like, nah, keep being trash.
You can be good, but not today.
Not today. But also but just keep doing what you're doing. Throw like 180 yards with 100 of them going to Adam Thielen because he's on my team. I picked up Adam Thielen off the waiver wire in week 1. I was like, bro, y'all tripping.
He's been really,
y'all tripping.
He's been really solid this entire year.
Folks thought he was like done. I wanted Adam Thielen to come to Seattle. I didn't think we was going to draft Jackson Smith. I wanted us to, you know what I'm saying? I wanted Thielen to be that third receiver. Because Thielen's still a guy who could just constantly get open and catch the ball.
Yeah. Well, and Jigma Smith has been really good the last like 2 or 3 weeks. It seems like he's kind of forming.
Oh yeah, he's still got drop issues, man, which is crazy. I didn't think he was gonna have those issues, man. He dropped some easy ass passes, man.
Well, there's that, but I mean, when you look at Seattle, like DK's 4 years into his career, I think. And
I think this is year number. I think this is 5.
Yeah, it's 4 or 5. But like Tyler Lockett is kind of on the way out, and
I don't think he's on the way out.
Oh, come on, man! He gonna like. I'm not saying they're going to tell him don't be here anymore. I'm not saying that, but like he's on the other side of.
I mean, he's on the downside of his career.
Yeah,
but I don't think. I mean, I realistically think Locke got. I think he's going to be a Seattle lifer. I don't see him wanting to go anywhere else. I think he would take less to stay around.
Really?
And as long as I think so. I 100% think so. Because Tyler, you know, he's just one of those guys, you know, down home type of guy. I don't see him leaving.
Look, everybody says they're a down home type of dude until they see the extra money. Now here's the deal.
I mean, I don't see Seattle just cutting him though.
I mean, that's the whole thing. Is like maybe not, but look, the NFL just don't care. They don't care about anybody. Like,
nah, that's a fact.
Dude, the Seahawks let Bobby Wagner go, dog. Like, you think Tyler Lockett isn't going to be on that radar of, yeah, dog, we especially because of Njigba Smith. Like, they don't have to keep him, but
they don't have to. I just don't. But I also don't think he's going to play like really, really long. I think, how old is he now? I think he just turned 31.
Yeah, he's in that ballpark.
Yes, somewhere around there. And I think he's got 3. I think he's gonna play at a moderate high level. The level he's at now, I think he can maintain that for 3 more years, and I think he'll be done.
You think that Tyler Lockett can do what he's doing for 3 more years?
Absolutely. As long as he doesn't get hurt, which he hasn't. He's never been hurt. He broke his leg at the end of the year, 1 year, and he hasn't been hurt since.
Yeah, but dude, to expect basically 70, 80 catches and around 1,000 yards per season with like 7 to 10 touchdowns from a 34-year-old in 3 years, that seems a little bit out of the realm of possibility. It could happen. I'm not saying that you're like it's completely not possible, but to bet on that to me doesn't seem like that's a really good idea.
Even if I think his production is naturally going to take a small dip, but I don't think he's going to get to the point where he's like, you know, he's like the old guy just trying to hang on. Like, I don't think he's going to get to that point.
Do you think he's not going to be that person based on him or based that way upon Seattle?
Both.
So you think that he'll know when to get out?
I think he'll know. I don't think Tyler Lockett is going to be the guy that's, you know, I don't want to use him because he's one of my guys like Frank Gore. Like Frank Gore seemed to probably play like way longer than he should have. Like, I don't think he's going to be that guy. Or Adrian Peterson. That's better.
I think Frank Gore is the more
because
appropriate comparison.
Because Peterson was trying to hop on with anybody. So his last couple years, those last 2 years, he was with Seattle, he was with Washington, he was with the Saints, he was with the Cardinals.
I got bills to pay that aren't.
No, I feel you, but the play, I don't think Lockett will get to that point. I think 34, 35, he'll just naturally bow out.
I think for me, because what we've done is we've kind of shifted the narrative so much on what athletes can do because there are the outliers, right? There's the outliers like LeBron's 40. There's Brady who was 40 plus and still doing we're using them as the constant when they're the outlier. So Tyler Lockett has never, ever, and I'm not trying to disrespect him, I'm not trying to discredit him, but nobody has ever thought that he's been the best at what he does ever. There's no way that dude is still on a roster when he's 34. The NFL will just kick him out. That's just how it works. If he was like Jerry Rice got to go to the Seahawks, but that's because it's Jerry Rice. The resume was such where you got to still be around because you could still produce. Tyler Lockett is not that dude.
But that was 43-year-old Jerry Rice.
Right. I'm just saying I don't see 33 and 34-year-old Tyler Lockett being able to write his own story. I feel the NFL is gonna they're gonna end that book for him.
As long as he's healthy.
Nah, don't do that.
If he gets hurt, then yeah, because he's a smaller guy. Because he's a smaller guy. But as long as he's healthy, he's still gonna be at 34. He's gonna produce. He's not just gonna stop. He's not gonna. Come on, man, don't do. He's not gonna stop. He's not just gonna stop playing. He's not just gonna turn into an egg. He's not just gonna turn into an egg.
You think at 34 years old, Tyler Lockett will? Well, okay, let me ask you this then, because everybody has a quantifiable and objective reasoning or stat of productive. What do you consider productive at 34 years old?
So if I had to put it in numbers, I would say if you're just decent, receiver 3 territory. So a productive year at 34, I would say 50 catches, about 600 to 700 yards. 3-4 touchdowns
at 30. No, what you're saying, dude, that's a number 2. What you just did is describe Gabe Davis.
No. If Tyler Lockett is Gabe Davis at 34, shit, he's still gonna be in the NFL.
I'm not saying at that age. I'm just saying right now. You're saying 34-year-old Tyler Lockett is essentially 25-year-old Gabe Davis.
That sounds about right.
That guy's gonna stick around. No, come on, dog. This can't. I know that you're a Seahawks fan, but don't do this. There's no way in year 34 that Tyler Lockett is getting 50 catches. Let's think about some receivers at 34. Around that 33, 34, 35. They don't exist.
Yeah,
you
not now ever.
You name me one wide receiver right now that you know definitively that is over 34 years old in the NFL. Name me
over 34. I don't know about all the guys ended up leaving,
and you don't like it. I done got you.
That's perfectly fine. But I still believe in exactly what I said.
34-year-old Tyler Lockett will get 50 catches,
absolutely,
regardless of squad.
Absolutely.
Whether it's, tell you what, I don't do this a whole lot. We have PScott's picks, which is what we're doing right now. We're kind of getting sidetracked, but you can put it on the board. I will bet you $500 right now that Tyler Lockett at 34 does not get 50 catches, because I don't even know if he'll be in the NFL. But I will damn sure make sure that he's not getting 50 catches, period, regardless of squad. You ready to go down? $500.
Hell no, because he might get hurt.
Oh, so now
we can revisit if he's healthy. We'll revisit this.
we'll do the caveat of this. At year 34, if he has played 13 of the 17 games, because that's also barring they might change the schedule. There might actually be 19 games. We have no idea. But I'll tell you right now, if Tyler Lockett plays, I'll do a percentage. If he plays 80% of whatever schedule games there are in 2026, if he catches 50 balls, then I will give you $500.
All right,
you owe me that because you're gonna lose, dog.
I ain't gonna lose. Hey, if he's playing, I'll put my money up. I'll put my money up on that.
Oh my God, you don't even know who their quarterback's gonna be in 3 years. Like Geno Smith might already retire. Moving on.
Hey, but
no,
might have Michael Penix up in there.
It's Penix. You got that big Penix energy.
Hey, sounds about right, bruh.
All right,
sounds about right. But yeah, go ahead.
We got moves. Las Vegas plus 14 at the Miami Dolphins. I have the Raiders plus 14. I don't think they have any chance in hell in winning. But what I'm kind of going off of is like their vibe with Antonio Pierce kind of being their interim head coach. I see them still losing. But again, it comes down to like that backdoor touchdown from Aiden O'Connell or whatever. I got the Raiders plus 14 against Miami, even though Miami is at home. What are your thoughts on that?
Raiders money line.
You take the Raiders to win?
Nah, I'm bullshitting.
No, you gotta be careful. This is the end.
Nah, I'm playing. I'm playing. Nah, I took the money line too. My bad. The spread. My fault.
So you took the Raiders plus 14.
I feel like if there's one thing you can do to Miami is you can be physical with Miami. And Antonio Pierce seems like the guy. We're gonna run the ball and we're gonna get the ball to Devontae Adams. And if it's one receiver Jalen Ramsey will struggle with is Devontae Adams.
Well, Devontae is like a top 5 route runner. Like he's absurd. But it also comes down to, can you get him the ball? And like Aiden O'Connell is somebody who everybody liked initially and thought, well, this is the dude. Like he should replace Jimmy Garoppolo. But we don't really know going into this what's the actual truth. Like I'm a huge Jimmy G banger, and I will completely still bang that drum of Jimmy Garoppolo is not good. But we also get enamored with the backup quarterback because that's what we do if they do well. So my whole thing when it comes to this is I do still see Miami, like statistically, it's going to look like Miami just beat the brakes off of the Raiders. But I think that they can still backdoor cover and get that 14-point spread. 14 is a lot.
14 is a lot. And yeah, but I think the Raiders got a little more fire playing for Antonio Pierce. Josh McDaniels just needs to never be a head coach ever again.
Oh, don't even get me started on McDaniels, because the thing for me is I've always been super irritated, and I've been saying this for years on this show, is that it's not even just NFL related. It's when it comes to football, when you're under a certain umbrella, you get a certain job. And we've seen the thing, like when you look at Belichick's coaching tree, it's atrocious. Every single one of them has failed, except for like if you
Mike Vrabel.
Even like
I don't think he failed.
Okay, so failure might be a stretch, but he hasn't been good. The biggest thing
they got to the title game, didn't they?
Dude, don't even do that.
I'm just saying they got to the title game, didn't they?
Okay, that's fair, but I also know that when I look at football, I've always made this, when I do word association, Tennessee Titans are basically the Utah Jazz. I know exactly what you are. I know exactly what you're getting, and you're both trash. You might look out one year, and that's what Utah's been, and that's what Tennessee was. But collectively, the Belichick tree has failed, except for like you said, Vrabel. I'll give him a little bit of a pass. He's been at least good. And then Bill O'Brien was like relatively good with Houston. But you name me anybody else.
Oh, I agree with you. The coaching tree is terrible. The best thing McDaniels ever did, the best and the worst thing McDaniels ever did was get Tim Tebow. That was the best and the worst thing.
That's okay. What do you mean that's the best thing he ever did? Because that's the best and the worst. That's the best and the worst thing. The best thing because it was fucking Tebow. It was the worst thing because you traded up to get Tebow, which was like wild. Why did you do that? You could have got Tebow in round 2 or round 3. You didn't have to trade up in the first round to get Tebow. But okay, so that was the best and the worst?
Yeah. Best and the worst.
Okay, so that one transaction was the best and worst thing he's ever done?
Yeah.
So
that just shows how atrocious he is.
Yeah, he's been bad. Was it the best thing because it kept his job for a little bit longer because Tebow had like a 6-7 game win streak?
Man, Tebow time was a time, man. Tebow time was a time, man.
Don't even do that, dog.
It was a time. That was like a rock. Hey, you gotta admit, that was like a rock star type of time when Tebow was playing, man.
So what's wild too, like it feels like wasn't Tebow time and Lynn's sanity kind of in that same time frame? Like
they were actually because it was 2011. Because Tebow time. Because Lynn's sanity happened after Tebow time. Because I remember I was in high school. I remember Lynn's sanity happened in April. Like April 2011.
It was a similar time though.
Yeah, Tebow time happened in January. Well, 2010, 2011. So yeah, it was around the same time.
But that's one of the biggest reasons that irritates the hell out of me about sports is like in a vacuum, whatever's happening right now, this is the best. So Lynn Sandy, like Jeremy Lin was supposed to be the next dude. Nah, dude, you were good. You were a good story. Tim Tebow, same thing. Tim Tebow defendants, I want to fight in the street. Every single time anybody Tebow won a playoff game, I want to fight them in the street.
Let me say this. Let me say this. I'm not a Tebow. I understand Tebow's shortcomings. However,
I swear to God, dude. If listen. I understand. No, I understand his shortcomings. All I'm gonna say is that the most important thing, if you a quarterback, is motherfucker. My bad. His teammates that want to fight and run through a wall for you. No,
that's the most important thing. That's the most important thing.
That isn't what they were doing.
No, I'm just saying. No, listen. Let me finish. I'm just saying. Denver was 1-4, and then Tebow took the job, and they made the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like those guys, like Tebow just has that presence about. Tebow just has that presence about him. He does.
This is where I shut you off. This is where it's my show. You're on my podcast. I'm gonna turn you off. Like there's a presence about him. How certain guys just walk into a room and guys just galvanize. No, that is not really.
That's what it was.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So Tebow was so great, he would earn that locker room's presence initially, but he didn't. And then he was the starter, and they won 7 games in spite of him. Then he got cut and went to the Jets and couldn't, and the Patriots too.
He got traded. He didn't get cut. But,
regardless, I'm saying he went to the Jets and the Patriots, and nobody really wanted him. We ain't doing that, dog. Like,
hey, listen, politics, bruh. The
Jaguars.
Well, the Jets politics.
Urban Meyer even made it a point because he knows exactly how bad he was as a coach, but only got top recruits. He thought, oh, I'll bring Tim Tebow in we'll just put him at tight end. He couldn't even make a backup quarterback spot. I thought he was supposed to be a football guy. He's basically a poor version of Taysom Hill, and couldn't even make the Jags roster. No, he had a 6-game stretch.
I mean, the dude ain't played football in like 8 years. I don't even know why he even got that opportunity anyway.
Okay,
I know why he got it, but but I mean, I'm not gonna hold the Jags thing against him, but I will say. But the Jets, the way the Jets situation was coming up, it was just like the Broncos. Mark Sanchez was being ass. The Jets were losing, and Rex Ryan still got that damn tattoo of Mark Sanchez, and he was like, "Nah, I'm not gonna bench Mark Sanchez for Tebow. Tebow is not gonna take." Rex Ryan wanted all the attention. He was not gonna let Tebow take the Jets to the playoffs, and the attention.
I forgot.
And the attention be all on, and the attention be all on Tebow. That was Rex Ryan's ego. Now after that, it just became too much. Like his presence just became too much.
See, his
presence became way too much.
I actually believe that for somebody who's marginal, like Tim Tebow was just too much for the locker room, because there are certain people PScott's picks got fucking derailed. Whoa, my bad. PScott's picks got derailed. Like nobody. I don't think that anybody really thought that Tim Tebow was going to be a threat to anybody's job. But we use that excuse sometimes where we just go, well, his presence was too big. The presence is too big if you are in the scenario to take somebody's job. That's not
presence being big is more so about when I say presence, I mean like Tebow, like when you have a backup quarterback, you don't want a backup quarterback that has a huge amount of fanfare. So if you have Tebow as your backup, let's just say I don't know give me a mid court. Let's say Ryan Fitzpatrick. Okay. If Ryan Fitzpatrick had Tebow as his backup, anytime Fitzpatrick throws an interception, you're gonna hear the fans chant for Tebow. That's not what you want if you have a backup quarterback.
Yeah, but that's what everybody's going through right now, though. Like other teams are going through the exact same thing, but they're still hiring them because the thing is, like, you need a good backup quarterback.
You need a good backup, but you don't need a backup where the fans are going to consistently chant for said backup.
But the thing is that fans are stupid.
You're absolutely right, but it's still demoralizing. You're right though. Fans are stupid. You're absolutely right.
Because Ryan Fitzpatrick played for I don't want to be have some hyperbolic take on this, but he played for essentially half of the damn league.
No, you're right. Pretty much.
Minshew, like these guys are loved across like fan landscape.
Well, they're loved, but Tebow is different, man. Well, Tebow was different.
You know exactly why he was loved as much as he was.
Tebow was diff. Certain guys are just different from a cult following. Certain guys are just different.
There we go. A cult following. There we go.
That's not what you want as a back. That's not what you want as a backup quarterback.
Right. So, and I agree with that because you don't want that. Like, I always struggle with this because I think that us as sports fans, because you disagree with me, sports fans are dumb.
Like as a whole, absolutely,
they're dumb,
and emotional.
But exactly like I don't want to do a Colin Cowherd thing, but obviously fan is short for fanatic, and we're doing this again. But what irritates me is that people say, "Well, he won a playoff game. Who cares?" Mark Sanchez went to back-to-back AFC championship games. We don't talk about him the same way we talk about Tebow, and Tebow was garbage. as an NFL quarterback. We got so far off topic. We've been live for 30 minutes and only got through.
Bro, that's just how we do. That's just how we do. Because I say something and then you go on and then I go on.
I'm also really bad at this. Like I'm really bad at like steering the direction on things. All right, so tell you what,
let's get off. Let's get off of Tebow because before we get off of Tebow, I got one quick question.
Tebow hasn't played since like my son's been alive, and I'm
facts.
We got
hey, I got one question. So like in all the sports groups we're in, there's like a few legendary debate. There's like a few like memorable debates that we've had in the group chats and all that. So here's one debate that we've had consistently. You can only pick between these two.
Oh God, is it basketball or football related?
It's Tebow related.
Oh, good Lord.
As your quarterback, who are you picking? And the room was split. Picking Tebow. You can take Tebow or Jay Cutler.
Oh, Jay Cutler. It's Cutler.
I don't want Cutler nowhere near my team. But we're gonna move on.
Wait, so you baited me to give an answer? Then that's all right. You know what? I respect that. Like we got things to move through. We're still on PScott's picks. We still got 4 to go. All right,
let's go. All right, what we got?
We're gonna rapid fire through this. New York Giants +9 against the Commanders. I have the Giants +9. I like Sam Howell. He's putting up crazy numbers, but I don't trust. It kind of comes down to the Chicago and Detroit game. I don't trust any of these teams that really put up a bunch of points. I still take the Commanders to win, but I have the Giants +9. Your thoughts?
I took the spread was the Commanders on FanDuel. I think it was 5.5 for the Commanders, and I took the spread.
So I did this 8-game parlay last night. So the line might have moved, but that's a huge swing from 9 to 5.5.
I didn't see 9. I didn't see 9 at all. I think it said 5.5. I took the Commanders. I took the Commanders though. Tommy DeVito is not going to consistently move the ball.
But that's the whole thing is like Washington is like they'll move the ball, but can they convert? So like again, it's 9 for me. There's not a whole lot of tape on DeVito, so like for me, it just felt like I feel like Washington's still going to win, but 9's a pretty big spread. So but it comes back to if Washington puts up 20 points, do I think that the Giants can put up 12? God, if they can't, then whatever. But okay, next game, Pittsburgh. So the Steelers were actually underdogs against the Browns, which I thought was interesting. So I took Pittsburgh on the money line. They're at Cleveland. There's no Deshaun Watson.
I could hear you for a second.
Defenses are ridiculous.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I couldn't hear you for a second. My headphones actually died. But I can hear you now.
Gotcha. No worries. You can hear me good?
Hold up. Let me plug these up right quick.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and filibuster. So I'm just, it's live. Things happen. But yeah, Pittsburgh, which I thought was weird, is an underdog at Cleveland, even though Deshaun Watson isn't playing. They're not even playing PJ Walker. It just feels like you got your buds in.
Oh no, I put him on the charger. I can hear. Right, I can still hear you though.
You can see, okay. So yeah, so Pittsburgh was actually an underdog at Cleveland.
Which I saw that.
Which I thought was weird because even though both defenses are absurd. Facts. And it's not even PJ Walker who's the starting quarterback.
It's DTR.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, I didn't take the spread. I took the Steelers straight up to win. And I know that Kenny Pickett's been bad. He makes 2 or 3 great plays in the fourth, and that's about it. But what do you think on that? The Steelers money line. That's what I took.
I took it a step further. I took the Steelers -3.
Whoa.
Or -2.5. -2.5.
Did you buy it down, or did you buy it to that?
Huh?
Did you buy it down to that spread? Because again, like for me,
yeah, I took the Steelers -2.5. I took the Steelers -2.5 because it make the pot a little bit bigger. I figured they would win at least by a field. I figured they would win at least by a field goal.
I used Bovada, and they were and the Steelers were an underdog. So
I know, no, I had to. No, the Steelers were an underdog, but I had to make them. It was
so you teased it down.
Yeah, so instead of Steeler money line, I took Steelers -2.5.
Gotcha. Because I was gonna say, like, on mine, it was the complete opposite. All right, Jacksonville -6.5. They play the Titans, and the Jags are at home. I took the Jaguars -6.
I did too.
-6.5.
I did too.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
They gotta rebound after getting their ass.
They got the brakes beat off them last week.
That shit, that was just embarrassing. I'm like, dude, come on, bro. Who they played the 49ers. The 49ers just straight. And then again, the 49ers were on a losing streak, so that was the perfect time for the Jags. The Jags at home, they got beat at home like that.
So I have this segment that I do every once in a while where it's called Dumbest I've Read on the Internet. And last week I was so it's a segment I do every once in a while. And what I saw last week was the Jaguars got beat because they had too much time, which means like the bye week. Your face says it all. For the audio audience, it's bad. They had too much time. They had a bye week, which was wild because both teams had a bye week. They were on the bye at the exact same damn time.
I've never heard too much time. That's hilarious, actually.
Well, we get that. We get that argument sometimes, right? Is that, oh, well, you're rusty because you haven't played. It's an excuse that people make, but in the NFL, you only get one of these unless you get the 1 seed. So you might as well, like, there's no such thing as too much time off. I just thought it was funny that somebody used the excuse of, well, Jacksonville was rusty because they had too much time off. And it's like, 1, it's a bye week, weird. And 2, they both had the same thing. But when it comes to San Francisco, yeah, they struggled the last 3 weeks, but Shanahan's offense is based on all those dudes being there and being healthy. And when they aren't, it falls apart. So Brock Purdy goes from being an MVP candidate, which is what Sims will do, and then right back into being the MVP candidate because they beat the brakes off Jacksonville because they liked him. The offense is predicated upon everybody being healthy. When you don't have those dudes there, you look like dogs. Like that happens.
I like Brock Purdy. It was just about time he had a couple. It was about time he had a couple bad games. Like it was about time. Like he pretty much had all good games, so he had to have a bad one eventually.
Right. Well, see, and that's right, and that's kind of been my irritation, like with just like NFL fans in general, is that, oh, so he's won 11 straight games. That means he's really good. No, it means that his team is absolutely bonkers. Like the entire squad, top to bottom, is.
I think it's both.
Oh yeah, no. It's a culmination. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's definitely both. Like, dude,
people want to put Brock Purdy.
He runs that system just so well.
But again, it comes down to you need to have those pieces there because the system can be the system. But if you don't have the pieces there that are supposed to be the system, aka Trent Williams, aka Deebo Samuel, or Christian McCaffrey, if those people aren't in place, the system kind of breaks down around Purdy. And that's the whole thing is like, for me, when people had Purdy as the MVP, I'm like, he's not even the most valuable player on his own damn team. But we've dumbed it down to, oh, you guys have won 5 straight and he's the quarterback. Yeah, he's the MVP. But we got to see what they were when they didn't have the system around them. You know, it just seemed lazy to me more than anything else.
I think he's a really good quarterback. It was just like I don't think it was the fact where Deebo missed a game or Ayuk missed a game. I don't think that was the main thing. I think it's just some point you just have a bad game. I don't think that was necessarily why he had a bad game.
Going to happen, yeah.
I don't think that was necessarily why he had a bad game, but like it was just gonna happen. Like you can't at some point, like you had this streak You can't, because he started off the year really, really good. And then, caught a flat tire. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it was. But if it's one person,
that flat tire was
I'm not
called
looking
Deebo
forward.
Samuel.
I promise you. I'm not looking forward to seeing that dude on Thanksgiving. I'm not looking forward to it.
Oh, you guys play on Thanksgiving?
Yes. We play the Rams today, and we got San Fran on Thanksgiving. I am not looking forward to this week at all.
My condolences.
Yeah, please. Yeah, my God.
You'll be okay though. You'll be okay.
If there's one we have to win today. Because I would rather, because it'll be extremely hard to win Thursday. Because we gotta win today. Because it's short week, plus you're going against arguably the best team in the conference. Arguably.
Well, yeah, because it's either San Fran or Philly. Like that's been like the really, like everybody kind of like that's the consensus. It's San Fran, it's Philly, and everybody else is kind of mediocre. Well, not mediocre, but like any given Sunday, but also you can lose any given Sunday as well.
Was there another game that you had? Oh, the Chargers and the Packers.
Oh, I got two more for PScott's picks. Tampa Bay is at San Francisco. And I took Tampa Bay plus 13.5.
What was the spread?
13.5.
Shit.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, I think I dumbed it. I think I dumbed it down myself because I think I took the 49ers.
Yo, Nigel's so right. Nigel, can you see this? Can you see the comments?
Oh, I haven't even looked, bro.
Oh, it's all right. So Nigel just said the Seahawks are so Jekyll and Hyde. And he's right, and they're
he's absolutely right. The Seahawks are winning
like the Giants. Are the Bills.
The Seahawks are winning like the Giants won last year. Ugly.
You know what? Thank you, because I'm so tired of fans. Like we talked about earlier, fans are idiots. Oh, you won 10 games? That means you can only win 11 or 12. You only made it to the wild card. You can only go to the divisional round now. Every team is trying to get better than just you, dog.
Yeah, like, every team is trying to get better. Like we're winning ugly games.
And see,
these aren't like Seattle hasn't had the only like stamp win Seattle had was against the Panthers and the Giants. Those were the only ones.
And see, for me, so like winning ugly is something where, okay, like you see as much as I do, like through social media and things like that, where fans and people will say, well, you won ugly, but you still won. Yes, winning ugly is it's still good. You still have to find a way to win. And I understand that, but I'm also not a simp where if everything that you do is an ugly win, that's not good. You have to be able to at least have the ability to beat the brakes off somebody. Because if you lose a game, the Chiefs right now are the number 1 seed. They've lost 2 games. But what we're doing is we're trying to nitpick and say why the Chiefs aren't good. You got 15 under center. Yeah, you still have a chance. But if you ever lose, it becomes your trash in the immediate, landscape of how we dissect things. But can you beat somebody by 20 if you need to?
Facts.
Like that, and
or it doesn't even have to be 20, just like you're up pretty much you have control the whole time.
Right. And you don't let them back in.
Yeah.
And that's why the Bills are trash, because they always do that. And I hate that. I hate it.
Yo, man. And man, I'm always happy. I mean, as a fan, at the end of the day, you're happy for a win. You just understand that if we play today,
I'm not even happy for a Bills win. I'm not even happy for a Bills win.
Last week, the last week we played decent for the most part, but as a whole, if we play how we've been playing against the Rams and the 49ers, they're gonna trash us.
Yeah, it could
shit has to be. I'm not concerned about who's healthy right now. I mean, everybody's healthy, which is so there should be no excuses. But Cooper Kupp is healthy too. So shit. And Cooper Kupp has made it.
Yo, Nakua has been nice the entire year.
Cooper Kupp and Nakua have made it their mission to make us their personal little bitches. I don't appreciate it one bit. I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate it one bit. You know what I'm saying?
So one, all right. So we got two. Well, we have one more pick,
What was
but
the other one?
we got. So because I have an 8-game slate. So Tampa Bay versus the Niners. I had them plus 13.5. I want to get to Nigel's comment because I think that what he just said is exactly what I convey as much, especially as a Bills fan. But your thoughts on Buccaneers 13.5 at San Francisco? I took Tampa Bay.
It's
plus
fair.
13.5.
It's fair because if I took that spread, I would take that spread because the Buccaneers defense is really good. It's still really good, and it can give San Fran some. It can give San Fran some problems. So the Bucks could, in fact, make that an ugly game. So taking that spread doesn't seem bad because you could make that a low scoring game. Like the game could end like 20-10, or like it could end 20-10 or something like that. So that's not too bad.
Yeah, because I'm not going to take them on the money line, but as far as like the actual spread, I thought that 13.5. Once you give me that hook, it baits me, and it baits a lot of better.
That's the hook. That's what the Cowboys are.
That hook can get you. But yeah, 13.5. I thought to me was when I see the way that San Francisco absolutely beat the brakes off of Jacksonville. I feel like that's the reason why that spread is so big. But offensively, and Baker's been good this year. He's been relevant and he's been fairly solid. And you also have guys like Godwin and Evans, White at your running back. Like you have things, you have options and weapons. So I'm not saying that I'm picking them to win, but the spread, I absolutely do. But to get back to Nigel's point, he says the best teams know how to put a foot on the throat of their opponents, which you do.
That's true.
You do have to kind of balance it. And this is why I've always given coaches and GMs, as far as like building for the future and building for right now, I give them a lot of leeway because there's a lot of balance in it, right? Same thing with coaching is like you have a huge lead. What I've always said is if you're up by like, let's say you're up by 20 in the fourth quarter in an NFL game, you might want to start to bench your guys, like your starters. But once it starts getting dicey, put them back in. But what we see is NFL teams still playing their starters and just playing not to win. And then you're playing with your food and you let guys back in. And sometimes you get the injury. And that's why it's difficult to kind of navigate through everything. But do you feel the same way, or like what would you do in that situation?
If I'm up 20, I'm trying to be up 27.
Oh man.
I'm trying to be up 27. I'm not, because I understand how quickly things turn. I'm always going to be aggressive. And I
largely agree with that.
I'm aggressive by nature.
They're also like, and I'm not saying that that's an incorrect way of looking at it, but it does come down to what if you're trying to be aggressive all the time, so you're up 20, and let's say your starting quarterback gets hurt. The crickets.
If we're in the beginning of the fourth quarter, the beginning of the fourth quarter, 20 points is you can still come back from that. And I know it's unlikely, but you can still come back from that. Now, if it gets like under, like once, like if it gets under 20 minutes, under 10 minutes, and we have the ball,
but that's basically one possession, though. That's one possession, though. Like in theory, it can be like 5 minutes can be one possession, though.
Like when it gets like under 10, 9, 8, yeah, I'd pull him. But to start, yeah, he's gonna be out. He's gonna be out there.
I think it also depends on who you're playing, but also that is why this is such a weird dynamic.
What I don't like when a team is up. When the team is up, if it's late in the game and the team is up, like I don't know, like 2 touchdowns, and they'll let a team like dink and dunk all the way down the field to score. because they don't want to give up the big play.
That's yeah.
Dude, how about you just play football the way you've been playing? If they've only scored 3 points the whole game, play how you've been playing. Why try to give them momentum and confidence that they can complete passes?
I 100% agree with that.
That's like, the dumbest shit ever, bro.
It's so dumb because like offensively, especially like on offense, it's like, okay, maybe you want to change your game plan because you want to shorten the game. You don't want incomplete passes, right? You want to shorten everything up. But on defense, it's what we've been doing is working. Why the hell are we changing anything?
Like, why are you? Because one thing you don't want is to get a quarterback in the rhythm, in a rhythm, and an offense in a rhythm.
Well, so Deshaun Watson had a shoulder injury and was 14 for 14, and you bailed and you let him beat you with the kicker last week. If you're the Ravens. But to get back to
that shit was nuts. I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't even watch the game. And then I saw it. I was like, Cleveland won? I was like, wow. Bro.
It was bonkers. But to get back to Nigel's point, so he talked about Seattle, and he goes, the Bucks do have a good defense that can make the game ugly, but the Bucks coaching staff will be outmatched. That seems pretty obvious.
No, that's definitely
when you look at everything. Yeah. The Bucks don't lack talent. They lack overall coaching, which is kind of what we talked about. They have the talent, but are they going to actually make the correct plays when they need to? And they are missing all kinds of adjustment and details. Okay. Well, I know that I kind of like went through 4 straight things, but Nigel also is a football coach up here. So he knows what he's talking about, but he's like really diving into the nitty gritty about it.
Have you seen Nigel in person?
Yeah, he's my friend.
I'm convinced Nigel is a robot. I've been convinced Nigel is a robot forever.
Okay, so
Nigel is AI. I'm convinced.
No, okay. When you say he's a robot, he is not, but he is very robotic. But he is not a robot. He's a real person. He is my friend. He lives like 15 miles away from me, dog.
Bro, we in the chat be on Nigel because Nigel speaks like he's reading from an instruction manual.
He is he's also military. He is like, very. But look,
it's just hilarious. I'm like, bro, he can't be a real person, bro.
So this, So this is my interpretation of him because I've known him forever. He's been in the music business as well because I used to be as well. He's robotic in a way because the military, I think, kind of molds you that way because I knew him post military or in that space, but he is not a robotic person. He's musically talented, he can dance. He's very.
Bro, I would die thinking that. Oh my god, the thought of Nigel dancing is hilarious.
Yo, honestly, the dude can dance. He's the way that I would say that is like he's structured.
Oh, I'll give him that.
He's very structured. I'll put it that way.
I'll give him that. Yeah, for sure.
Because like I know that people like he's a robot. No, what he is direct. He's direct to the point, and he's like, this is what I think. This is what I feel. And he's out because I know for me personally, sometimes what I'll do is I'll get like emotionally involved and say like, I need to say exactly what I want to say. And I'll like kind of trigger it through everything. And it is dumb, but he's like, I can put everything that I feel into 13 words. I don't have that ability, but he's not a robot. He's a real person. He's a real person.
It's funny. It's funny. Yo. I've always busted him about that. I'm like, yo, bro, you're not real.
No, the thing is, like, he's very direct. He's very to the point, but he's direct and to the point, but he's not rude. It can be taken as rude because the internet can be sensitive that way, but he will always just tell you what he feels in the moment, but he doesn't go into like these paragraph descriptions of what things are. He's a good dude.
The one thing that annoys me about Nigel is like he can never just be a fan. He can just never be a fan. I'm like, why do you gotta analyze everything, bruh?
Because
like, dude,
dog, I told you
you can't just watch the game and enjoy the damn game, bruh.
One, I told you already, he's a coach. And two, I've been a Bills fan for 35 years and I don't even like Bills games anymore.
I get why you're mad. Like I understand.
Okay, that was hurtful.
I understand. Like the Cowboys can win a game
I can say it, but you can't.
No, the Cowboys can win a game by like 25 points. And Nigel will still talk about, damn, like such and such corner's gonna play terrible zone coverage today. Bro, what the fuck? Like you won by 25. Be happy. God damn.
Again, one, he's a coach and he's not these delusional Cowboys fans. And two, I do the same thing. The Bills will beat the absolute brakes off somebody. And I'm like, Josh Allen still booty juice. And then I get the hate. But I'm more active on social media where I get it and I don't care.
I'm happy. Hey, I'm happy with a blow. I'm happy with a blowout win, man. My energy is high. My vibe is feeling good.
I don't mind blowout wins versus good. This has always been my thing. When it comes to college games, there's style points, right? You have to win a certain way to climb up the rankings. That is how it's done. In the NFL, I don't care about the blowout wins. Don't give me style points, but it does prove to me, do you have the ability to beat the brakes off somebody at all? So it's not like, when the Dolphins just absolutely mollywopped the Broncos, put up 70 on them, right? They put up 70 on them. Everybody right then and there was anointing the Broncos, the worst defense ever, and the Dolphins, the best offense ever. And spoiler alert, things happen, and both of those things shrunk where the Miami offense got to good instead of the best we've ever seen. And the Denver Broncos defense went from the worst we've ever seen to now they're really good.
There's no
style points in rankings when it comes to the NFL. I'm just saying if winning matters, obviously, and I'm not trying to say that how you win doesn't matter because I feel like it does, but it's just, winning close. If all you've done the entire year is win 2 to 4 win games, like the point differential is 2 to 4, you're not a good football team. You're mediocre, like just about everybody else. There's 3 great, there's 3 that are absolute dogs, and all the other 20 to 25 are mediocre, but you get a couple bounces.
Football, when they say football is a game of inches, they're not bullshit.
Well, I think what was funny was now that you mentioned that really kind of drove me to the Jadeveon Clowney post where like they were playing I think it was it Michigan?
Oh, you from college?
Yeah, when he was in college.
Oh, when he made the big hit?
Yeah, that big hit. So it's a game of inches but it's a game of inches, but sometimes it's not even in your control. Because the refs were like, first down. And they're like, okay, bet, let's go. Even though they were completely wrong, but a game of inches can, and that's why I give teams such a big, I don't want to say pass, but I understand that in the moment, like it's hard to win, especially at the professional level. Like it's really difficult to win.
It's really difficult.
And I'm just in this perspective of you might win one game, but the next game doesn't mean that you're gonna simps want to say we won this week. It's gonna continue forward, and that is not at all how it works.
That's not how it works, man. Matchups, coaching, adjustments, injuries, referees, and sometimes weird shit just happens.
Yeah, well, and that's my point. Like when we started this season, for me personally, I knew the Chiefs and Eagles were going to be really good because they have been for the last 3 years. Maybe not make a playoff, or maybe not make the Super Bowl or win a Super Bowl, but I knew that those 2 teams were going to be good. I knew who was going to be bad. It was going to be the Giants. It was going to be the Cardinals. You always know there's 3 or 4 teams that are going to exceed the expectations. And there's going to be 3 or 4 teams who are absolute doo-doo butter. And like, if you look at the standings, how many teams are between 4 and 6 and 6 and 4?
Shit, I don't know.
Like damn near everybody, except for the teams that I named.
That's pretty much what it is. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, it's such a bonkers. I don't know. I'm just tired of people thinking that it's every time that you play a game and you win, you're on the trajectory to here, and every time that you lose, you're on the trajectory to here. But we'll get past that. So Ken Dorsey got fired. Do you think that he should have been, or who do you think should be on the hook? Because for me personally, this feels like a 100% cop out.
I was first of all, I was shocked he was fired because I'm just like, how do you because some of those turnovers that happened with Josh Allen weren't his fault. You know,
Some of them.
Well, Gabe Davis dropping a pass that hit both his hands and got you intercepted wasn't his fault. And sometimes when Josh Allen is
throw it 100 miles an hour, but
I mean, he kind of had to. It was a tight window. He kind of had to fit that one in there. But when Josh Allen can be reckless.
Can be or is?
He can't.
Because I would say that he is, not can be.
He can be. I'm gonna give him can be.
Okay. So
because at the end of the day, hey, you got a lot of turnovers, you got a lot of touchdowns. You know, you got anyway. But I don't think he should have been fired because I'm just like, yo, when your quarterback just does dumb shit or your receivers can't catch the ball, why are you firing the coordinator? What did he do?
We'll see. And this is, I saw some really interesting stats. Like when it comes to points per game, efficiency, everything else over the past, I'd say month and a half, the Bills rank in the top 5 to 9 offensively in every single category.
Yeah.
Except turnovers. They are worst in the league in turnovers. And I do understand that play calling can have an impact on that. But this is what always bugs the absolute hell out of me when it comes to coordinate, because I never want to see anybody get fired. And we see this on social media. Like you're into this space. You kind of know that everybody wants everybody to be fired if they lose the game.
Yeah, fire the coach, get a new quarterback. Everything.
Exactly. Everybody wants to do that, and I don't really occupy that space. But if the Bills win that game because there isn't 12 men on the field, Ken Dorsey still has his job.
Exactly.
And this comes back to the point. There's no style points. It's all this versus that, and sometimes it is like literally the dumbest that we do. Because it doesn't make you a better football team by getting rid of him. It doesn't make you a better football team by keeping him. You are an okay football team. What you did is you scapegoated him. You scapegoated Ken Dorsey. And that's what it is. All that Sean McDermott did was buy him time because he's going to be out soon as well.
If the Bills don't, I feel like if the Bills aren't at least in the title game, if the Bills go to the title game and they lose a good game, I think he's back next year. If they don't, I said if they go to the title game and they lose in a good fashion, he's back. If there's nothing else, then I think he doesn't come back. I think they'll fire him.
Oh, you mean McDermott?
Yeah, McDermott.
All right, so to get back real quick, so in the chat, I saw, he earned his firing, his lack of adjustment in the run game. Okay, so I understand that talking point.
I'll give him that. I'll give him that.
But that's
not even a him thing. Like the Bills haven't been running the ball.
Dable didn't do it either.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like they haven't ran the ball consistently since Rex Ryan was there.
They don't. The thing is, like, they don't want to.
They don't.
They
don't. Because you see what Devin Singletary been doing.
Want to.
You saw it last week, right?
They essentially took their run game away and broke it down to running duo and inside zone concepts, but primarily run out of gun, which is the worst formation set to run those concepts out of. I'm not disagreeing with you, Nigel, but what I am saying though is You have to have a certain commit. But again, that wasn't just Dorsey. They were doing the exact same god thing when it came, like when Dable was there. Their entire offense is essentially made out of shotgun. It's not just Dorsey's fault, but the thing is, like, they didn't. Dable left because he's like, I'm going to get a head coaching job and make a bunch more money. That makes sense. And Ken Dorsey got fired, and it's not his. To me, look. All right, so I'm gonna let you get yours in first because I have so many things that I want to get into on this. I want to yell at so many damn people who are not gonna listen to it.
Oh God, bro.
So I want your full opinion.
The Bills haven't ran the ball for real since Tyrod Taylor was the quarterback. That was the last time the Bills actually had a legitimate running game.
Well, they also had LaShawn McCoy.
I mean, yeah, you had it, you had LaShawn McCoy and Mike Tolbert. They had another guy too. Who was the other guy?
Fred Jackson. Well, no, Fred Jackson was done actually. He had already retired.
Who was it? Jonathan Williams? Was that his name?
Oh, they had Carlos Williams.
Carlos Williams, that's who it was. Okay.
Yo, that dude was a monster for like 6 games and then just disappeared.
I don't know what happened to him. Like, yo, he balled when he got an opportunity, but
dude, he was nice when he was there, but his time was very short lived.
They're consistent, like the Bills, just ever since they drafted Josh Allen, and they've consistently just made it a point, like, yo, we're not gonna run the ball. We're not gonna run the ball consistently. Because if you see what Singletary did, they gave the Texans gave Singletary 30 carries for 176 yards. There is no way. I'm not saying you give him 30 carries every game, but the Bills should at least. This is what you should do. You have Josh Allen. The Bills should have 25 carries between your backs. Let Josh Allen maybe give you a quarterback sweep or option once in a while.
Between James Cook, Latavius Murray, like, you should give them 20, like you said, 25.
You should give them total 25 carries.
God, it's
however you want to split that is on you. Because Latavius Murray, I don't know what the hell. Like, we was talking about Tyler Lockett earlier. We was talking about Tyler Lockett earlier.
Damn near my age.
Latavius Murray's old, still moving. Latavius Murray's 33.
Nah, he almost my age. Like,
Latavius Murray is moving. He still got juice. I thought him and DeMarco were related for the longest time.
Funny story, I thought the exact same thing.
I thought they were related because they're built just the same. They kind of run the same.
Yeah, they're very upright.
Yeah, they're upright. They're like, they're not outside guys. They're more so power. That's a guy you want to give a power to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought they were cousins the whole time.
I'm so pissed off and done with the Buffalo Bills. Like, I remember when they lost this past week, I said, like, I'm getting rid of all my stuff. I'm a Texans fan now.
Yeah, I know. I was like, yeah, you were going through a meltdown. That shit was crazy. Yeah.
But again, like, this is what fans do, right? We do emotional things, we say emotional things, and I was ready to bail on these guys. And so they play the Jets today. I don't even feel good about that, dog.
I do. I think the Bills are going to win this game convincingly today. I think the Bills are going to win this game by at least a touchdown.
So when I was doing my DraftKings lineup, because I do those like religiously,
yeah,
I went heavy on the Bills. Like I went heavy on Kincaid, heavy on Diggs, and heavy on Cook, and then went really kind of. I think I went Dorian Thomas Robinson, like a DTR for my quarterback, just as far as value is concerned. But Buffalo could either beat the brakes off of the Jets because Dorsey's fired. There could be a new energy. We've seen that with the Raiders, right? We've seen the Raiders completely change in how they play their energy over the past 2 weeks. And that might be what you see with Buffalo this week. But I just don't know. And I saw you had red zone on. What you got?
I just turned it on. CeeDee Lamb just scored a touchdown.
Who scored?
CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee?
Yeah, CeeDee just scored a touchdown.
Damn it.
The Texans are up by 11 on the Cardinals right now. C.J. Stroud is killing it. Tank Dell has 120 yards and a touchdown. C.J. Stroud has 256 yards in the first half. Devin Singletary has 84 yards and a touchdown.
Oh, I have him in a draft.
Oh shit! The Giants. That's a good one for you. The Giants are up 14-9 on Washington.
We'll tell you what. I always do a parlay, but I always only bet like $1 to $3.
Yeah.
And the reason why my bankroll is so large is because I smacked March Madness last year. I put like a $2 bet and won almost $1,000.
Yeah, that's lit. Oh, the Jaguars are up 13-0.
So my buddy Nigel again was like, Chelsea is the resident Broncos fan. Was sad for you, but we'll take the W. You know what, Nigel? Chelsea. I'm glad. Oh, Chelsea is Nigel's wife.
Oh, okay.
And she's a huge Broncos fan. And he was just coming in here like, yo, it's sad that you got the L, but she's sad for you and nice. They're a very nice family, and you're a very mean person, Jay.
I'm not a mean person. How am I mean? What did I do?
You sound mean, dog.
Wait, what did I do? I just said, who's Chelsea? I knew he had a wife. I didn't know her name. Okay.
All right. So to move on from PScott picks, because we obviously got derailed.
The Dolphins are up 14-10.
All right. So enough football, because Burrow. All right. You know what? I was gonna move on from this, but I've already gotten the ticker, so I might as well keep it there. Burrow and Watson, the AFC North. What are we gonna do? Because the Bengals don't have their starting quarterback. The Browns don't have theirs. Is it Pittsburgh's division at this point?
I mean, it's still the Ravens division. But I don't.
Oh,
I
sorry.
don't want to say.
That's more what I meant. But
so when it comes to these teams, the AFC North, everybody lost their quarterback when their record was still still decent. So the season isn't technically over. I want to see when it comes to the Bengals. We have no idea who or what Jake Browning is.
That's true.
I don't want to say their season is over. I want to see him play an actual game.
We've also seen the Ravens win without Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, we saw how ugly that was. Tyler, oh my God.
Oh, it's bad, but I'm just saying we've seen them win without him though.
God damn it. Miami just fumbled. Raiders ball. Fuck. Because I took the oh wait, never mind. Because I took the Raiders spread. I'm tripping. Why am I mad?
Oh,
I said fuck. I forgot. But I took the Raiders. I bumped the Raiders spread up. I put the Raiders.
You bumped the Raiders. It was at 14, wasn't it?
I made it plus 20. Y'all better not get blown out.
All right, and you better not lose this bet then.
Yeah, the only one that's fucking with me is the Giants and the Commanders, because I didn't think the Giants would score 14 fucking points. It's 14-9 right. It's 14-9 right now in the first half, so I still got a chance. But damn, boy. I'm so glad I pulled the plug on my. Wait, I think I took them both out. I don't know. I gotta see my. I didn't see the stats yet, but Tank Dell and Tyreek. I put Tank Dell and Tyreek Hill on one of the little joints I sent you. Both of them have cleared.
Oh, gotcha. And Nigel's like, the Ravens division. It's the Ravens division to lose because Jay Browning ain't gonna survive that division. And because I misspoke. I meant the Ravens, because when you look at that division top to bottom, before the season started, I thought the Ravens were gonna win it, as long as collectively, if everybody stayed pretty healthy, because obviously injuries are gonna happen and it's a war of attrition, and I get that, but I trust the Ravens. I don't trust the Bengals all the time. I don't trust the Browns all the time. And the Steelers are always just going to middle around 500. They're always going to be good. So, but I never expect them to actually win their division. but I did misspeak, and I'm sorry for that. But Nigel's right. Like it's the Ravens division at this point. It really is.
It's definitely the Ravens division. The Ravens, though, who they lost to? They lost to the Steelers. They lost to the Browns. Who else they lose to? They lost to one more.
Yeah, well, they've lost what, 3 games?
Yeah, they lost one more. Steelers, Browns, and somebody else. I can't remember.
Oh, the Browns.
Steelers. No, the Steelers, the Browns. It was one more. It's one more, right?
Oh, that's okay. That's gonna drive me.
They lost one more game. I can't remember. Somebody in the comments, can y'all comment that?
Yeah, like, whoever in the comments, if you guys can use your phones and do that, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'm thinking, yo, who was it? I can't remember. But anyway, the Ravens have lost.
They've been leading basically their entire season. They've only been trailing for like less than 30 minutes the entire season.
Losing to the Steelers was the worst loss. Like,
you don't think? Oh, you don't think the Browns one was?
I think the Steelers one was worse because only because at least the Browns could put up points. The Steelers didn't score.
You think the Steelers didn't score at all. So without Nick Chubb and a broken Deshaun Watson, they can put up points. The Browns' offense has been doo-doo butter.
What I'm saying is I'm just seeing like game for game. The Steelers could not score at all. That was okay. So the Ravens kept dropping passes. And then Lamar threw one of the ugliest interceptions in the fucking red zone. Excuse my French. And then the Steelers with no offense all game.
No, why do people say that? Is that French?
I don't know. I don't know why people say that.
I don't know why people say
that. Like, it's just crazy because like the Steelers could not move the ball for nothing all game. Lamar Jackson throws one of the worst interceptions you could ever throw in the red zone. And then the Steelers drive all the way down the field, score, and take the lead. And then Lamar fumbles and they lose. Like, what the hell? Like, they lost that game in one possession while dominating it the entire time, which was nuts. I was like, wow, that was the worst. Now, I didn't watch the Browns game. I didn't watch that game. But still, like, come on, bro. Like, yo, that was crazy. And Kenny Pickett threw a dime to
Nigel came through in the clutch.
I think that was Pickens. He threw a dime to Pickens.
Man, look, all right, look. I am tired of Kenny Pickett.
You and me both. Like,
I'm done with him. Like George Pickens deserves better. But also, Nigel came through in the clutch, and he let us know that it was the Colts.
I said that. I said, wasn't it the Colts?
You said wasn't it, and I wasn't sure.
Okay. I thought it was the Colts. Like,
I'm just saying. Look. I'm a very apologetic and very nice man. So I was saying I wasn't sure.
I'm not going to take the credit for that because I wasn't sure either. But that was the game that I thought of.
That's the gamesmanship. That's the gamesmanship.
I'm not going to take full credit for that. I'm not taking full credit for that.
Well, I'll tell you what. I gotta scoot out for a minute, but I'm gonna put this little after these messages. We'll be right back, and I'm gonna play some music, and I'll see you guys in about 3 minutes.
Cool. Yeah, my bad, bro. I just went to use the bathroom and check my phone right quick.
Oh, you good, man?
Yeah, that's all it was. Yeah, I was just checking. I was just checking.
And then you got again. We got some technical difficulties. Where the hell you go, man? Like we trying to figure things out right now. The live is not going particularly well. Jay, if you would very kindly join me.
I didn't know we was back.
There we go.
I didn't know we was back live yet. I was just checking.
Man, I told you you're bad at this.
Hey, this is my first time, bro.
It's not your first time. You've been on this You've been on this show beforehand. Don't even make excuses for that, man.
Nah, but this wasn't live. We was pre-recorded. We weren't live.
Yes. All right. That's fair. That's fair.
I said this is my first live, bro.
But all you do is live stuff. Like on your podcast, all you do is live stuff, isn't it?
I don't go live.
All right. All right. Well, then maybe I was misinformed.
It's all
But
good.
regardless,
It's all good. But yeah, just check my fantasy. Not too happy right now. Not too happy at all. Only Tank Dell. I got two different picks. Tank Dell and Tyreek Hill have hit. Everybody else is not. I'm a little upset about it.
all right. We'll tell you what, because we're doing this live and you're talking about your fantasy. I don't really care about my fantasy team because I have a lot of like stacked Jaguars players. Like, I have ETN, Lawrence, Ridley, and Ingram. But what I am going to do real quick is, since you did yours and you're being self-absorbed, I will do the exact same thing.
So first of all, I thought we was on a break. That's why I was checking.
We were, and I say I'll give you a couple minutes. The next thing I know, you dipped out from the entire thing. Like, that ain't a me thing, dog. That's a you thing. But I will say this. So on my DraftKings,
I'm using my phone. I'm using my phone. That's why.
Oh yeah, we gonna make excuses now. I got it. So I got Rondell Moore, who is doing well, and I got Devin Singletary, who is doing well. Amon St. Brown, who is doing well. And actually, I had Brandon Cooks, but they're already up 14. That could get ugly. And I had the Miami Dolphins defense, but I still have Diggs, Kincaid, James Cook left. So we still have a little on one of my DraftKings lineups. I still have some time.
Yeah, we still have some time. I'm not liking I need Thielen, and I thought Thielen. I saw a highlight where Thielen caught like a 20-yard catch, and I guess that's the only one he caught because he's still ain't got shit.
Bro, I know that I know that you said that you were doing red zone, but I swear to God, if you're like playing Call of Duty and doing if you're doing a full blown Kyler Murray on me right now, I will end this chat.
This is red zone, but it's not working right now. So, fuck it.
Yeah,
plus, I don't play Call of Duty. I don't play Call of Duty.
Somebody who was playing Call of Duty would say.
I don't play Call of Duty at all.
Good.
I suck at Call of Duty.
Call of Duty's booty juice.
Definitely it is. But
well, in all fairness, I say that because I'm not good at it.
I'm not either. So yeah. So since I'm not good, it's booty juice.
Absolutely there we right. Go. Hey, FIFA. we can self-hate this thing together. I like that.
I don't like FIFA. FIFA's booty juice.
Oh, FIFA's dope. I'm also good at it though. So
nah, I don't play FIFA. Terrible. Only FIFA I play is FIFA. Only FIFA I play is FIFA Street on the Xbox. The original
FIFA
Xbox.
Was fire. That was dope.
The original Xbox.
I'll tell you what, we've talked a lot of football. Let's go ahead and get through. I want to get through one more thing. Draymond. I want to get your actual opinion on the Draymond suspension. Was it legit? Was it, just what are your overall thoughts?
5 games too much.
Too much?
5 games way too much. 5 games too much.
So not even
me personally.
So it's not even just too much. It's way too much?
Absolutely. So first things first. Let's watch the whole thing.
We will.
Clay,
Guess what?
Clay McDaniels were in a little incident. The first thing Rudy goes to do is he goes and grabs Clay. He could have grabbed McDaniels.
Rudy doesn't grab him.
Yeah, he does.
No, McDaniels does.
No, McDaniels and Clay were grabbing each other. Were like hand fighting or whatever.
Yeah, they were tussling.
And then Rudy was the first one to run over there, and instead of grabbing McDaniels to separate his teammate, he grabbed Clay. He grabbed Clay by the neck. Draymond was like, "Hey, you ain't gonna grab my guy by the neck," and choke, and then they put Chody in the baby boy chokehold.
Ain't no way.
And choked him out. Now, I do think choking him and holding on like that was a little excessive. So I would have threw him out the game for sure.
But
I would have threw him out.
But you just said a 5-game suspension was too much.
Exactly. I would have suspended him. Maybe I would have suspended him and Rudy a game and been back at it.
Wait, you would have suspended Rudy too?
Yep, absolutely.
Rudy Tootie Fresh, and no, you didn't duty.
Yes,
Ain't no way, dog.
I would have suspended Rudy. Absolutely.
No, there's no. Come on, man.
I just told you what happened. I told you what happened.
I know you told me what happened.
If Rudy doesn't grab Clay like that, Draymond doesn't choke him.
You don't think so?
No.
So there's not one bone in your body that thinks that Draymond just wouldn't do that out of, I don't know, all of his existence? If you were to line up everything that man has ever done, it doesn't seem
most things Draymond has ever done was off a reaction.
So
it's all like the whole thing with Sabonis when he stepped on Sabonis' chest.
No, don't even do that.
I'm just saying. So Draymond tried to run away, and Sabonis tried to Kurt Angle him, and Draymond got loose and stepped on his damn chest.
No,
that's what he get. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
No, he didn't. No, he did. I'm trying to show this more of a group. Dog. That is not.
There's literally a shot of Draymond trying to get up and Sabonis doing like this to his.
There is no. Sorry, I'm more engaged now. There is no chance in hell that is not how that.
That's exactly how that happened. That's exactly how that happened.
Have you? Okay, let me ask you one question before we actually really get into things.
What's up?
My question is, you've actually seen Draymond Green play basketball, right?
Yeah, that's my favorite player.
Of course it is. Of course, you just gotta be in here and do that. No, man, there's no.
Draymond is my favorite player with with Jokic coming up. So when Draymond retires, probably Jokic will take the throne.
Sorry, I lost my. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you just fine, bro.
All right, so you can't hear me.
Yep. Shout out Dre. But, I can look, I would have suspended him a game because he held on longer than he needed to. But I would have definitely suspended him, but not 5 games. I would suspend him 1 game. I can't hear you now. You're muted.
All right, but you can hear me now?
Yep, there you go.
Okay, there we go. Sorry, I had some.
Yep, that's why when the whole Sabonis thing happened, I was on the same boat. You can't put somebody in an ankle lock. You can't put somebody in an ankle lock and get mad when they step on you.
No, man, that ain't it. But again, if we're doing track record of Draymond Green, come on, man. Like you saw the way that he stepped on Sabonis's chest. That is not how a stable person reacts
a
with
stable
that.
person doesn't try to grab someone's ankle either.
Okay,
he
but
grabbed that was why the step. That's why the step happened, because he grabbed his ankle trying to get out. Draymond's trying to walk away, and Sabonis is trying to do this like he's Kurt Angle. And then he got stepped on.
One, Sabonis wasn't gripping it that hard.
You want to see the screen? There's literally a picture of it.
Also, two, you do know that wasn't his first offense, right? That's like his last offense besides the chokehold.
I've looked at a compilation where they say Draymond Green dirty plays.
You said a couple? Yo.
I said a compilation.
Oh, a compilation. Yeah.
I saw the video where it says Draymond Green dirty plays, and I was like, and I looked at him, and I was like, okay. They probably had about, I can't remember how many, about
there's
8 or 9.
There's
8 or 9 that were considered dirty. And I was like, maybe two are dirty.
There's at least 6 direct kick to the nuts, dog. There's at least 6 of them. If you're watching the same compilation that we all have access to, there's at least 6, man.
Nah, bro.
What do you mean, nah?
First of all, the Steven Adams thing, totally accident.
No, it's not.
Let me tell you something.
No,
are you a hooper?
Yeah.
When you sometimes, and I've seen this happen multiple times, but it doesn't.
Well, let me ask you this: is Dennis Rodman your favorite player ever?
Dennis Rodman? Nah, Draymond is. Well, my favorite player ever, Draymond. Well, my favorite players are in stages. So when I was like a baby, when I first got into basketball, it was like Allen Iverson. Then when I got a little older, it was Jason Richardson. Then a little older, it was Zach Randolph, and that was Draymond.
But
what I'm saying is, but my point about basketball is what I'm saying is, when you play basketball and when you're about to go up for a shot and you get stripped down, your body naturally is gonna flail.
No,
for real. I'm being honest.
If Draymond is your favorite player ever, I can already see where this conversation is going.
That's perfectly fine. There was a time where in the NBA Finals when LeBron and the Cavs were playing against the Warriors. LeBron was trying to take a game-winning shot. Iggy stripped him. LeBron's leg went into Iggy's groin area. It didn't connect, but nobody said anything because it didn't connect. It was 100% accidental.
There also is not a history of that.
But what I'm just saying, when you pay attention to guys who get stripped when they go up for a shot and watch their arms and their legs.
Pay attention to shooters. Draymond is not a shooter anymore. Like, I understand like what you're saying. Like the motion when you do stuff, your legs are going to do certain things. I get that. But Draymond isn't one of those dudes who is just going to shoot and maybe his leg gets kicked out. That isn't what he is.
That happens with shots. That happens with layups. It happens all the time. We just don't notice it because there is no result.
Because he doesn't. No, Jay. Because he doesn't do it. Look,
that's why we don't notice it.
No, the first 3 years of his career, he was trying to do a spot up 3-point, especially at the top of the key kind of thing. Like that was his gig, right? I was going to rebound, I was going to assist, and I was going to take spot up jumpers at the top of the 3-point line, and that was it. He also doesn't have one of those actual shooting motions where you might potentially kick your foot out. That isn't him. He is literally, if we're going to do this, he is a goon in hockey. He's not skilled. He just wants to run around and things up.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
What do you mean that's a lie? Tell you what, right now. He's a Hall of Famer right now, right?
Absolutely.
Because he plays for the Warriors. Would he be a Hall of Famer if he played for Orlando?
If he played for Orlando at the time?
No, like in general. Like given
if Draymond was drafted to Orlando, they probably wouldn't have won as much. They probably wouldn't have won. Orlando was a dumpster fire. But at the time, if we're being honest, the Warriors weren't an established franchise when he got drafted.
No,
I
but
will
he
say,
also,
I will say this
they also
objectively. I will say this objectively. Do I think his resume changes with Orlando? Yes. Do I think
100%.
Do I think he would be a Hall of Famer? No, because part of your
There it is.
resume is contributing to winning. Do I think the Warriors win
No,
four
no,
titles?
no,
Do
no.
I think the Warriors turn into a dynasty without Draymond? No. Do I think the Warriors get KD? Do I think KD wants to go to the Warriors without Draymond there? I don't think they win a championship without Draymond at all. So Steph and Clay's legacy is drastically different as well.
Well, and see, and that is my point.
I think two things can be true.
They can
Draymond
also
is
exist. They can
Draymond
also
is a winning
exist.
basketball player. That's a winning type of basketball player.
Right. And that has always been my point. Is like, one, Draymond is the epitome of stay in college for 4 years. Because nobody wants to do it, right? The only reason why he did is, one, build the resume, and then he went to a squad again. So he is not the reason necessarily why Golden State is as good as they are, but they wouldn't be as good as they are without him. But if Steph went to some place else, they would be exponentially better immediately. Whereas Draymond is not the case. Like, you couldn't plug and play him somewhere and just.
I think you could. I think if you put Draymond on any team, I think they get better.
The argument for Orlando.
I think they get better. I'm not saying they win championships, but they get better.
Dude, put Steph in Orlando. That team.
Steph is better. No, Steph is better.
All right, so let's do this. If you put right now, objectively, just these two guys, you put Steph in Orlando, do they make the playoffs in the East? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. You put Draymond over there. Do they make the playoffs? Yes or no?
Yes.
No. You are.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. I think, first of all, Orlando. First of all,
you're so lucky, dude. You're
Orlando
so lucky
is
that
way,
you're on the,
Orlando is
on
way
the
better
entire
this year.
side of the other continent. Of the, God,
think
really?
Orlando is way better this year.
They're
like
better.
I said. My point is Draymond is now. I think they would be better overall with Steph than with Draymond, but I think Draymond is still a winning basketball player, and if he goes to a team, they're gonna be a better team.
See, I don't necessarily think that. Like, it really depends on the way that I interpret professional sports is, yes, you need a coach, but okay. So to backtrack for a second. Mark Jackson got fired from the Warriors, right?
Yeah.
And he still had Steph and Clay and Draymond.
Yeah.
Am I incorrect?
Yeah.
All right. So he had all those dudes. Why did they fire him then?
It wasn't basketball reasons. I don't think it was basketball reasons at all.
All right. So for me, I kind of feel it's a similar aspect, but for me, like when I look at this thing in its totality is Mark Jackson said, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson were the best backcourt shooting duo ever. And we all laughed at him in the moment, right? When he said it, like,
it made sense to me because when you talk about shooting, I was like,
don't even, God.
When it comes to, like, we're talking about just shooting.
It made sense to you.
I'm just saying,
you never
shooting, it made sense. Who else you got to put? Who else you got to put? As a shooting backcourt.
No, I'm saying I'm saying in real time.
Even at the moment, who else you gonna put?
Not them.
I had to think about it. When he said it, I was like, wait, like my eyes got big, but I was like, wait a minute. When you think about it, who can you put back there?
But they weren't even playing. Steph was injured and Clay was a nobody until like Steve Kerr really let them play the way they were supposed to play. But there is not one single absolute god person on the planet when Mark Jackson said this is the best backcourt shooting, not saying that the best backcourt ever, but best backcourt shooting duo ever. We all laughed at him.
I didn't laugh. I just said name another one. That's all I wanted to know. Can you name another one? Like at the time, I was like, can you name another one?
You know what? You can look. I'm a big Charles.
I'm saying, what you gonna say? Kobe and Derek Fisher? You gonna say Madden with Tony Parker?
Look, man, you don't want to get me started on Kobe. I'm gonna start so many fights.
You gonna say Madden with Tony Parker?
No, I'm just
like,
saying.
I'm just saying, like when you think about what I thought about at the time, even though they weren't necessarily where they were now, like how we look at it now, like when you think of their just shooting ability, at the time they had probably like two. They had probably 2.5 years together.
Dude, not when they were rookies though. Nobody.
They weren't rookies. Whoa, Mark Jackson had them for 3 seasons. He said that his 3rd season there. So they had about 2.5 years together.
But Steph was injured and Clay was just a dude.
Like I said, it made perfect sense based on you couldn't even name another one.
Look, I always think when we come to the best ever, I always take a back seat because there is one, the best ever, the future hasn't happened yet. There's no way that we can ever do that. So I hate top 5s, I hate top 10s, I hate all of this other as far as these debates go. But also, I'm saying in the moment where we never really saw those two play together, for him to say that, there is not one person on the planet, apparently except for you, who said, yeah, I agree with that. That's the best backcourt shooting duo ever.
There's a couple things that have happened in this lifetime that I've said that nobody else agreed with, so I'm cool with it.
But you didn't say it. Mark Jackson did, but you just.
But I'm saying when he said it at the time, it just made sense because I couldn't think of another one.
Dude, so you're saying that within 3 years of them just being in the league and them being like barely playing together, that you knew that he
that
was
2013 year. That was the year Steph. That was the year he made his first All-Star team.
But I'm saying both of them though.
Yeah,
Clay wasn't anything special. Clay didn't.
Clay by his 3rd year, about 16, 17 points a game, 44% from 3.
You got your computer next to you, don't you?
No, I don't.
I see you keep looking, dog.
No, I don't.
Either that or you're making stats up. It's one of the two. It's one of the two.
Because Clay's stats after his rookie year were pretty consistent. From his after Clay's rookie year, his stats have pretty much been between 16, 20 points, 40 to 44% from 3. Pretty much the same.
No, it's been largely consistent. But my point is, in the moment, everybody laughed at Mark Jackson. Whether you can say, can you name me another one? No, because I can't. Because what we do is the game changed so much so quickly. So if you're asking me 15 years ago, could I name you a better shooting backcourt? No, I can name you some really good shooting guards. I can name you some really good point guards who could shoot, but didn't play together. But I also wouldn't say anybody's the best ever. But Mark Jackson did that. He said it and wanted to make it be this huge thing. And we all laughed at him because we didn't see them actually do anything. And I feel like if he was still the head coach at Golden State with them, I feel like they wouldn't be as good because, and I don't know this to be true, so I'm not trying to say definitively, but I do think that the Warriors would not be as good now as they are if they had Mark Jackson, because I feel like Mark Jackson is still more of an old school kind of coach where he wouldn't let Steph be his own self. Steph and Clay, like collectively, especially Steve Kerr, let them. So I'm not saying that he's wrong. I'm just saying we laughed at him in the moment. And also, Steve Kerr isn't a great head coach. He's just a better. I feel like for him, he let them be more who they are as players. Whereas Mark Jackson would have wanted them to be more of like the actual conceptual, this is how I run. This is the old school NBA. And this is how we're going to run things. And Steph's legacy might be different too.
I give Steve Kerr a whole bunch of credit. I think Steve Kerr coming from Phil Jackson and coming from Pop, and he was involved with the Suns at the time, so he got a little Mike D'Antoni in him. So he took a little bit of all that, and then it just all meshed together. And here's another point, because I don't know if people don't remember this. David Lee was the starting power forward at the time, and
Dude,
David Lee
David Lee was nice for like 2 or 3 years.
He was nice for a minute. He's like
Right. Well, he was good for the Knicks.
David Lee was nice for a little minute. He was an all-star
for the
He was
Knicks,
an all-star,
right?
and then but he got hurt. He got hurt in like preseason or the offseason. He was gonna miss some time, and then Draymond started, and Kerr was like, "Nah, David Lee got to go to the bench. He healthy now, but David Lee got to go to the bench because Draymond is rolling." If that
that how that went?
that I forgot. Like people forget about that, and also, and I'll take this a little bit further when it comes to Steph and Clay. If they don't win, the game doesn't change as much. The reason the game has changed now because they won. Because you remember, if the game would have changed a lot sooner, if Nash and those boys would have got a championship, the game would have changed then.
Well, we would have
saw it sooner.
It did change.
No, the game has evolved over time, but the influx that we're getting now is because Steph and Clay won. If they never won a championship, the influx that we have, it wouldn't be this fucking high. Well, it would have grew, but it wouldn't have been this high.
So there's levels to this, because when you're saying if Nash and the Suns won, it'd be different. But no, like they didn't win. Nash won 2 MVPs. They changed the way that we play as far as fast pace is concerned, right? But you're right. If I will give you this, if the Warriors and Curry didn't win championships, they wouldn't want to play the way that Steph does play, because it would be, well, you're just one you'd basically be Dame Lillard.
People keep trying to copy that shit because they won.
But what I'm saying, like the fast pace started with D'Antoni. It was, we're gonna get a shot up, get a good shot up within 7 to 10 seconds, get it up. So the NBA moved there without the Suns winning anything. The way that people shoot threes changed because of Steph and because he and they won. That's my line of demarcation on that.
Yeah, because like small ball was always just a novelty, because you know who used to run small? Nelly ball. Remember Don Nelson used to play like that with those run TMC. Those run TMC teams.
Golden
like
State,
Nelson used to play like that.
With him and Mullins and
they used to play like that. And then you had the Denver Nuggets back in the 80s. They used to play like that, run and gun. They used to play like that.
The thing is, nobody could shoot the three back then the way that they do now. Like you could,
they didn't shoot the three as much, but you still had a style of play when you win, you change the game. When you lose, you're just a fad.
I just look to me personally, like when I see that there are, like in the 80s, like you said, like there can be some fast-paced offenses, but either the 3-point shot wasn't as relevant. Obviously, it wasn't, but it also wasn't part. It wasn't like, it just wasn't part of your game plan. And it's not necessarily that the points per game are so exponentially higher, because if you look through NBA history from the 70s or for like the 80s through to now, it's not that much higher than what it used to be. It's just you have to guard every single part of the court now, and it's like just because you.
Could you imagine them trying to guard Steph and they back it all the way up to the 3-point line?
But see, that's just it, right? Like,
that'd be crazy.
People like, Bron couldn't play in the 80s and 90s. Like, this is okay. So
when I hear that, I'm just like, okay, is that Adam Thielen? Did he catch that? Okay, bet. All right, go ahead.
I've always been the proponent of. I've always hated when people say, well, this person couldn't play in this era. I'm like, well, what are we really doing then? Because
that's so annoying. I don't like doing that.
It's that on top of the fact that nobody wants to like really transparently put the rules the same. right? So like if Steph went back in the late 80s, early 90s, okay. They're like, well, he would just hack him. Okay, like he couldn't do the exact same thing. Like, and he still has his skills. It's the same thing with
Also,
LeBron or whatever. It's just so dumb when people say,
when you
well,
can
they couldn't
dribble,
last there.
that hand checker doesn't mean shit. When
Well,
you can dribble and change
that. Bro, I
direction,
know that.
yeah, like a lot of people just like, oh, you can just hand check him. I promise you, when you can dribble like that, like they weren't trying to hand check Allen Iverson.
No, exactly.
Because you couldn't keep up.
You.
You couldn't keep up. You had to give him space so you could keep up. So the Allen Iverson, Kevin Johnson, Tim Hardaway, Rod Strickland. Well, Rod Strickland was a little different because he couldn't really shoot.
All right, so I grew up as a huge Phoenix Suns fan because Charles Barkley was my favorite player. Kevin Johnson was low-key my number 2. And I love that dude, man. I love that you made that reference.
Yeah, like small guards back then who could shoot, who could handle at a high level. You were not hand checking them.
Yeah, exactly.
Because guess what? Let's go. All right,
Yeah.
Adam Thielen. Let's go, baby. Adam Thielen, man. I be trying to tell people, bro. He still got it, but yeah, man.
That's
like,
the whole thing, man. As long as you get the targets, you'll get the because you got a PPR league, don't you?
I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about for underdog. I have Adam Thielen. Adam Thielen needs to get a certain amount of fantasy points.
Gotcha.
I think Adam Thielen needed about 10 or 11 fantasy points, and he just got that with his last catch.
Oh, well, good for that, man.
Yeah, but I need the Cowboys to hold them to a field goal to keep my spread going.
Oh, that is where the key is. Can we keep the spread going?
Honestly, I just need one of these gotta win. Honestly, that's how I feel it. One of these gotta win. But yeah, so you know.
I feel you.
I hate these people that talk about how guys couldn't play back then. I'm like, bro, shut up. Like,
wait, what was that?
People like to say guys like that certain guys couldn't play like back in the day.
Oh, yeah,
there are some guys that are built now that you wouldn't even think of in 1992. Like Jason Tatum is the equivalent. Jason Tatum and Kevin Garnett are essentially the same size.
They don't look it.
They don't look it because KG just naturally played bigger in the post.
Well, he was taller though. He wasn't
maybe like by an inch, but like
no, he was like 2 or 3.
KG 6'11". Tatum's 6'10".
No, Tatum isn't 6'10".
Yes, he is. He grew after he got to the NBA. He came in the NBA 6'8". Really? He grew to 6'10". He's bigger.
Because I thought he was like 6'7", 6'8".
Nah, Tatum is 6'10". Tatum is big as shit. Tatum is 6'10" and like 240, which is the size of which was a post player back then. Imagine somebody like Rick Mahorn trying to guard Jason Tatum.
Well, see, and that's my whole thing.
On the perimeter.
But see, that's the thing is like people who are like the old heads will say, "Well, Rick Mahorn will lock him up." It's like no, like
Rick Mahorn has never had to guard anybody
who looks like him. And 2, it's just like, okay, so if Rick Mahorn on offense, cool, you're just gonna back him down and try to get like a 5 or 6 foot bucket, whereas Jason Tatum
even do that. I
know, but I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to give Rick Mahorn some flowers, though. I'm just saying, like, when you look at it in its entirety, the game, and it's not even just the thing that irritates the hell out of me is that people just want to say the game has changed. No, we as people have changed. You look at a 25-year-old person now, and go ahead and Google a 25 person back in 1985. It is completely different.
Yeah, folks was losing. Like, you remember how look at Clyde Drexler when he got drafted.
Oh,
Clyde Drexler looked 45 years old. He was already losing his hair.
Right.
Michael Jordan went bald because he was losing his hair.
Right, but that's the whole thing. Is like people just want to say, well, the sport is different because players are different and everything. It's like can you just slow down and conceptualize that maybe, just maybe, the evolution of humans has changed and not just the sport that you either A, love, or B, want to discredit.
It's 100%. It's 100% both. And I
Yeah.
and I look at some of the things, like I remember some of the drills that I did coming up as a kid that older people would show you how to do. And I'm like, yo, you can't do that shit now. Those drills are weak as fuck now.
Well,
Like just the training aspect. Guys practice tough shots. Guys practice tough shots now. Everything back then was just wide open, just catch and shoot. Those are your only shooting drills, was catch and shoot, maybe coming off a screen, one dribble pull up.
Right. Well, because I remember when I was in high school, I had a very militaristic, this is how you kind of do basketball coach. And that's what I did when I was at practice. What you just described is what my reality was. And it was come off of screens. It was spot up shots. You don't do anything. And this dude was a high school basketball player of the year.
I'm crying right now. Jared Goff is having the worst game of his career.
If you are going to interrupt me on my show, you better start crying then. Cry. No. Put your head up. No, I want to see the actual tears.
It's right here.
Naked dog? No, I want to no, nothing crocodile tears. I want the lacrimal has to be spewing from your eyeballs if you're going to interrupt me on my show.
My bad.
No.
Won't have it again.
No, cry.
I can't.
Cry.
I gave you a tear, bro.
No, you said you were crying. Cry for me. Argentina. Cry for me, Argentina. Do it right now.
That's all I cry and give you.
I think, you know what's great is that this is for the interwebs forever.
I know, right?
I know, right? I saw where I get frustrated with era arguments is they don't apply it both ways across the board. And that's exactly what I just said, is that when it comes
to... That's a good point.
Well, what do you mean that's a good point? I said that to you 10 minutes ago, is that they will apply, like if it's Jordan versus LeBron, they say, well, he couldn't play here, or Jordan couldn't play in this era. It's that you're not applying everything to everything. So could Jordan, oh God, you guys baited me.
I'm not, no, let's not do it. Let's not do it.
No, I don't. Good. Thank you. Because I don't want to.
I'm sick of Jordan and LeBron debates.
I didn't. Thank you. Because you know what? You finally bailed me out, Jay.
I want to say, speaking of eras, I want to say something about the old basketball era where people like to discredit like Bob Cousy and Bill Russell and Will Chamberlain and those guys. I want to say this. Like, let's say this. Can you imagine? Take an NBA player right now. Let's take a good one. Let's take
Zach LaVine.
Okay, we'll take Zach LaVine. Take Zach LaVine. Take his uniform away. Give him Daisy Dukes, that thin ass jersey. Make him wear Chuck Taylors with one pair of socks. Dribble and shoot a basketball that's heavier. A rim that has less resistance.
That dude would average
no 3-point line
from the 2-point line.
No 3-point line, and play 46 minutes a night.
Well, and that's just it. Like 46. I think that people don't understand that either, is that like when we say right now, oh, you played only 38 minutes a night. Because you imagine, like, if you put today's athlete, again, Zach LaVine, put him back in the day, that dude could play the entire game. 48 minutes would be nothing, because the nutrition's better, because we're just more evolved. That dude could
you're right.
Minutes and average 90 points a game.
You're right with what he has, but if you tell a player right now to play 48 minutes in Chuck Taylors, they will lose their fucking mind.
Well, they couldn't do it.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, these guys are playing.
Okay, so I don't want to so they could. An athlete today could wear Chuck Taylors. They could play 48 minutes, but you're not going to get the best out of them because we are so just hypersensitive to every single game, especially the NBA, because there's 82 of them, right? Yeah. Like every other day, we're going to see a basketball game. and we just can't conceptualize that, oh yeah, this is actually kind of difficult to do all of the time. And if you gave somebody, hey, I'll give you these terrible shoes, go play 48 minutes, like I can go do it, like I'll get my cardio, but you're gonna roast me on social media next time. And that's the other thing too, is a social media aspect, is that nobody really thinks about.
Everything is so a lot of those older players, like, because back then you were so private. People just had to pray that they just saw you on the way to a game. Like back then, things were just so private. Could you imagine if some of the stories that you hear now that are like kind of folk legends? Could you imagine if Charles Barkley's life was broadcasted every day?
Yeah, Barkley for one. Yeah, Barkley would have been fun. Well, honestly, okay, so I know that collectively, because I can see it in my mind. I can see this actually happening in real time. If it was Barkley,
yeah,
he would get roasted, but I would love it.
I would love it too. Or a lot of things. You hear about guys drinking and being cokeheads and all type of shit, like
gambling on planes,
like all type of shit. Like, could you imagine if you had a camera and you had like these sports shows that talk about you every day,
and that's all.
And then you got phone cameras now. Back then, you didn't have phone cameras.
No, but you know what I'm
saying? You go outside, there's 30 cameras in your face if you a star.
Right, and that's kind of the thing, is that when people are like, well, Jordan would have been fine nowadays. I'm like, I don't know if that's completely accurate, because what we're doing is we're looking at it in the perspective of what's going on now in our time, and we can only see it in that perspective. So, like with LeBron, when he came up in 2003, we had camera phones, we had internet. We were already like, it wasn't to the degree of where we are right now, but it was
social media was coming.
Right. Right. But we knew that when Jordan was coming up, that wasn't even
you couldn't even use the computer and talk on the phone at the same time.
Right. Exactly. So it's when people say, like, it's not just what you do on the court, but off the court, because the off the court or off the field things, we are more obsessed with the off the field and court things than we are on the court and field when it comes to like us as fans and how we consume things. Yeah. Could Jordan would he have faced suspensions based on his actions? Maybe. We don't know.
Yeah, imagine if the story got out of Jordan punching Steve Kerr.
Right. But Draymond he's not vilified, but he's also not Jordan. But he's also not Jordan though. But does Jordan become Jordan if we have access to everything? That is also like the caveat to all this.
I think I definitely. I mean, well,
it's just a question.
Yeah, man. And let's be honest. Let's be honest. If Poole don't show Draymond don't punch him. But anyway,
I'll tell you what. It's been 2 hours, dog. I'm gonna let you get out of here.
Hey, man, that's true though. Come on now. If Poole don't shove him, Draymond don't punch him. But speaking of Poole, can we talk about how ass Jordan Poole has been?
Okay, so before we get into this, now that we're here, I said this the moment that they signed him. And I'm not trying to be the dude who says, I told you so. But what he was, he maximized his opportunity, right? Yeah. In that season, and what he did, he got his bag.
Facts.
And I'm okay with that. It can be a bad signing, but also be good at the same time. Like, obviously not for the Warriors, but it's good for him. But I told people back in the day, this is a bad signing. It's a flash in the pan.
I mean, it's a trade. It's a trade, but yeah.
Right.
Oh, you mean when the Warriors signed him?
Right. When the Warriors did I'm not talking about Washington at the moment, but like when it came to what they did is, I think that the Golden State thought he's basically going to be diet Steph Curry is what I thought they were going to do. And hey, when when Curry's done, we have a backup plan. But obviously that wasn't it. Steph is balling out of his mind right now. And just Poole is doing what Poole does in DC. But I don't think that everything is still fine. I think that Golden State may have overpaid him, which I do think that, but they still got compensation for him.
I don't think they overpaid him. For what they paid him at the time, he got 4 years and 110.
Yeah, it was like close to $30 million. It was close to 30 mil per year.
Yeah, I didn't think that was that bad.
Well, the only reason why I thought it was bad is because if you believe them, and this is obviously before they get Chris Paul, so I'm trying to do this in a real time transaction.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so when they paid him, I thought it wasn't warranted because you still had Steph. You still thought that Steph was going to be great. And what you're doing is basically paying a backup point guard almost $25 million a year.
Yep.
That seems pretty stupid, especially if you think that you're going to keep Clay as well. Now, if you want to play Steph and Clay together, then don't pay Clay or let him go and then let them play side by side, but that obviously wasn't their point. So the only reason why I think the actual contract was stupid is, one, it was a flash in the pan season, and two, if you weren't going to start him, why the hell are you paying him $25-ish million a year?
So I think you paid him for a couple reasons. Number one, you were thinking that the decline of Steph was going to come sooner rather than later.
Fair.
And number two,
that's fair.
Number two, if it didn't, if they thought he was going to be close to Steph Curry, if you get him at 30 million, at about 28 million, probably roughly, you get him at 28 million, and he became that.
The 55 that you're paying Clay.
Yeah, if he would have became that, it would have been a huge bargain for you.
Right.
The third, if it wasn't working out, he has a movable contract where you could trade him and get assets for him. So you kind of really you didn't want him to go into the season without a contract. So either it was gonna work out, or you could get out of it early. You know what I'm saying? So and they kept hoping that Steph and Clay would take that fall off the cliff, but Steph hasn't, at least. Clay has.
Yeah, no. Steph.
You believe Clay is shooting 32% from three? Do you believe that? Clay is shooting 32% from three. That is
no, Clay. Dude, bro, Clay is not the same person, and I'm tired of people.
Not even
I'm tired of people doing that.
Dude, even if you can't move the same, which I understand, you can't shoot 32%. You've never shot less than 38, and you're shooting 32.
So one, we are very early into the NBA season, so I don't want to do that. But what I will say is that Klay Thompson, you play 2K, right?
Yeah.
All right. So there's the 3-and-D guy, and that's all they can do. I can only defend. I can only shoot, but I can't do anything else in between. To me, that's Klay Thompson. And with the multiple injuries, and it's just age. I'm not trying to hate on the dude because I like him enough, but it always comes down to, dude, you're not worth the money. And we talked about this with Draymond. He's only worth the money that Draymond is getting paid is only worth it to the Warriors because he's been there for 8, 9, 10 years. His money is not worth anything.
I think he would have got more in the open market.
What was that?
He would have got more in the open market.
What, Draymond?
Yeah.
Okay. So
because if you look at what he got, his extension, I think his extension was 4 and 100. So he got 25. I think he would have got more than 25 in the open market.
So here's the reason why. Like I agree with you that he might. The money portion is not what interests me. It's the impact, because you're right. What we do is we say you have championship experience, right? And we overpay for that. And that is what sports fans and everybody wants to consume that.
When you win, your value skyrockets.
Can I ask you something? How many championship winners do the Wizards have right now? People.
They have one right now. I'm trying to make sure. I know they have one for sure.
And who's that?
Kuzma.
And who's the other?
I'm trying to make sure. I'm trying to go through their roster in my head and make sure.
The guy
they have two. They have two.
The guy that we just clowned on.
They have three. They have three. They have three. Then
no, they got two.
Kuzma. They got Poole. They got DeLon Wright.
Poole. They got Kuzma. They got Poole.
They got DeLon Wright.
Did he win? Oh, with the Raptors?
Yeah.
I don't think he won that year.
Oh wait, or did he get? No, he got traded. Okay, never mind. He got traded, but they still gave him a ring. So okay, so just two.
But so here's the deal. This has always been my point: is that we as sports fans, not you and me, but I mean in collectively.
No, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, so you got championship experience. The Wizards have two of them, and they are a laughing stock. They are trash and booty juice.
I forgot who said it. JJ Redick said they are the most unserious team I've ever seen.
Which is wild, because JaVale McGee used to play for the Nuggets.
They were when JaVale McGee was with the Nuggets, they were in the playoffs.
But he was funny though.
I mean, yeah,
that's my point.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. But I'm like, yo, the Wizards just don't even look like anything right now. Like, there's no I had high hopes for Poole. I thought Poole was going to come in and average 30.
Well, everybody thought the exact same thing. And
I will eat that bullet. That shit was bad.
Look, one, I appreciate the honesty. Two, the season's still young. He could still average 30. It doesn't mean that they're going to be any good, though.
I don't think he can average. You can't go from averaging 16 to averaging 30.
They're also, 10, 12 games into the season? They're still there's still 70 games left. So if you just want to put it on the landscape of could he average 30, I think it's possible. I don't think that he will. I'm with you. I don't think that he will, but the possibility is still there. But if he averages 30, does that mean that they get better? Probably not.
I don't think they get better, but I think if he was to turn it up this year, it would be like you would feel better about your direction as a franchise.
Well, I think that's
if Poole still stinks the whole year, you would feel terrible. You would be panicked, like, yo, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, if you're Washington, even if you're terrible, which is kind of what you were thinking anyways, that's fine. But if Poole actually turns out to be good, then at least you feel better. Like
that's my point. If Poole's terrible and you're terrible,
that's a huge problem.
Yeah, that's the problem. Because then if you want to trade him, no one's gonna want to trade for him.
Well, the other thing too, when it comes to like those trade evaluations, is this is his first year in Washington, right?
Yeah.
So, but he also has what is it, 4 or 5 years left
on his deal?
Yeah, the one
this is an extension. So after this, he has 4 more.
So you got 4 more. Okay. So with Washington, and the thing is, like, the contracts are guaranteed in the NBA. So what you're looking for is,
for the most part.
Well, yeah,
for the most part, they're guaranteed.
Yeah, exactly. But so if Washington, what I think we have to do if you're the Wizards is look over the next 18 months. If you're still trash this year, maybe you can move him. But the problem is the stigma 2 years ago was, oh, he's great because we went over this champion. Like, we label that.
And he was a major factor in them winning the championship.
Yes, he was. But that was one season. That was like 4 months. 4 months of his career is like, oh yeah, this guy's really good at basketball.
Yeah, you saw, but the progression was there though.
We thought so, but that's because he had the opportunity. And this has also been my large argument. And it's not even just basketball, it's every sport. And a lot of people don't want to listen to me, is that when you get to this level, NBA, MLB, NFL, it doesn't matter. It's your opportunity. Because like we see 5, 6, 7 round draft picks or undrafted players who can still play. And the reason why is because you're really good at what you do. It depends on where you go and your system and like your opportunity.
Like a lot of shit just factors in. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So like Jordan Poole went to the perfect situation, and then he went to Washington, and it's like
now you gotta be. So yeah, you went to the perfect situation. It's like, yo, when you got drafted, the Warriors were stinking because Steph and Clay were hurt.
Exactly.
So you pretty much just got to wild out, be a rookie. Your second year, they put you when they were coming back, they put you in the G League, so then you can develop your craft there. Your third year, you get to you become like a rotation guy. You become like a 6-man spot starter. Now, you help them win a championship.
And then that's where everything kind of is like.
Last year was kind of a mess because of the whole punch situation. And now you're quote unquote the man, and it takes a lot more. It takes a lot more to be the man. The attention's on you. You're quote unquote the leader because.
But it's also Washington. That's the whole thing too, though. Is like it's still Washington. Nobody thinks that you guys are going to be good.
I just want to make a point. We've just reached NFL history. Deron Bland has recorded his 4th pick six of the season. Which is the most of all time.
All right. Well, I haven't watched any football today because I've been trying to talk to you and be a good friend. But fair enough.
I'm not watching football. It just popped up on my phone.
Don't you lie to me. I see what you're doing. Yo, every single time you look into the right, look, cheating on me.
Look, there's nothing on the screen. It's black.
Yeah, you cheating on me with the red zone, and you cheat on me with your phone because
honestly, I can't use my phone. I can't. My phone has been dedicated to you for 2 hours. I haven't responded to it.
Then how did you know then?
The ticker popped up. The notification popped up.
Yeah, you was dedicated to me.
Yeah, I'm dedicated to you. I haven't texted anybody back, man. Leave me alone. I haven't texted nobody back. My red zone barely working. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you what, man. I appreciate your time today. We'll go ahead and hang it up because I'm not trying to. I don't want to play defense against your life.
You don't want to play defense against my life, but PScott, you are a big part of my life, man.
You are so sweet.
You're a big part of my life, bro. You know what I'm saying? You're like the tall, goofy brother that every white kid always wants.
Really? That actually makes me feel pretty good about myself.
You're like, you kind of look like redheaded Travis Kelce,
Wait, do I?
Yeah. No, don't take the hat off. Don't do that.
Yeah, I will tell you
damn
this.
it.
I will tell you this.
You went from Travis Kelce to Bono, like real quick.
God, you are just the worst. I swear to God. So
went from Travis Kelce to Bono.
So Mario told me the exact same thing. He goes, dude, I love your content, but if you're gonna go live, you have to wear a hat because your top is
that's hot, bro. Remember the movie Coneheads? Yeah, that's what it is.
Yo, it's also because you're on the East Coast, right?
Yeah. No, well, Tennessee, Central. Yeah. So technically, Central Time Zone, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm in Alaska, dude. It's -11 right now.
What the French toast, golly?
Dude, it's
you could not pay me to live in Alaska.
Dude, and I used to live in Fairbanks, which obviously is still in Alaska, but like right now, this is all right. So I work in Anchorage and it's about 0 degrees. I live in Palmer, which is -12. If I lived in Fairbanks, which is where I used to live, it's -25.
Like I said, you could not pay me to live in Alaska. If you paid me, You have to pay me like a few million a year for me to live in Alaska.
We'll tell you what. One, I agree with you. I mean, I'm doing it not for free, obviously, but if you find a job that pays you $1 million or $2 million, you let me know where it is.
I
I'm
would for sure let you know. I mean, I would for sure let you know. My bags would be packed. Like, I wouldn't even get bags. I would come as I am right now. Wouldn't even take bags. I would leave everything behind. I would leave everything behind and start fresh.
I will leave everything that I know and love.
Exactly. I'm starting fresh. Give me a bill. I'm starting fresh.
We also get a PFD, which is like every year, every person who lives here gets a certain amount of money, and it's based on the revenue of the oil industry.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So like sometimes it might be $3,000, sometimes it's like $800. But if you live here and you find a job that pays you $2 million a year, you get that on top of that.
Hey man, look here, bro. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if it's that bad, if it's that good shit, but I could not imagine walking out my house, like leaving the house and walking into negative anything. First of all, I have never experienced negative anything. The coldest I've ever been, I think, is maybe like 10 degrees. That's probably the coldest I've ever been. And 10 degrees is like fucking summer for y'all.
Yeah, like, yeah. Well, that's the whole thing. Is like people make fun of me because I've been in Alaska forever, and like I'll go
about that, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm not super happy about it, but I'm also glad that I am because I would have never met my wife if I did leave. So like there's certain things about the actual landscape I'm not super happy about, but as far as my life itself,
the fact that I couldn't go outside and play basketball in Alaska really hurts my feelings.
Actually, you can, because it depends on how much do you want to play basketball.
Bro,
because
I'm a hooper. Like, I still hoop now. I hoop almost every day.
Well, see, and that's the whole thing is like, so where I live, I can walk to like a little park that we have, and it's probably about a 8-minute walk if I wanted to. And I haven't done it now, but I remember when I was a kid in high school, because my dream when I was a kid is I wanted to go play basketball at the Duke University. I want to play at Duke so damn badly because I love Grant Hill. And
okay,
and in the winter, I would just go and I'd shoot hoops in the snow and everything else. But I also tore my Achilles about 12 years ago, so I haven't really played that much. But we have a little hoop.
When was the last time you shot a basketball?
I'd probably say, and that's the thing is like we do have a court next to us, about 8-minute walk away. But I would say the last time I actually shot a basketball would be 3 months ago.
Oh, okay. Man, I always say we need to get a meetup from one of these groups.
When you hoop and you white, you always have the jumper.
You always have what?
The jumper.
Oh, okay.
Dude, my jumper will never leave me.
I will 100% bet my jumper's better than your jumper. I will 100% bet. You know what? I will shoot against anybody who's watching this. I will shoot against anybody, and I will bet on myself.
All right, here's what we gotta do. All right, so now that I know what this is gonna be, we are gonna do this. What's the bet? What's the wager? You and me, like nobody else. Just the wager. You and me.
Man, might have to play around the world. Might have to play around the world on
around
live
the world. Wow.
On live or something. We might have to play a lot. We might have to play around the world on live.
Yo, that'd
have somebody
fun.
Have somebody hold the we can do this again and we'll have somebody like hold the phone and we'll take turns. Because I don't want to. Because you're older than me, so it's not fair for me to go fast. You know what I'm saying? So we'll just take turns, huh?
How old are you?
I'm 28.
Oh my God, you're almost 12 years older than I am.
Younger.
Or I'm sorry, I can't. You're 20.
You're getting old. You fucking up. That's what I'm talking about.
Dude, you picking on an almost 40-year-old. I mean,
that's why I said I don't want to go fast. That's why I said we could take turns. And when you miss, I'll go. When I miss, if I miss, you'll go.
Well, the thing is, like, so I'm doing this through StreamYard, so it's gonna have to be with my computer. because they're like
you can use your phone.
There's no app for it.
No, it's a website. You sent me a link and I just clicked on it and I use Safari.
Well, and maybe if you started, but
this is just Safari.
I know, but you would have to sign up for StreamYard because there's no StreamYard. I'm using it for my computer, and I sent you the invite through that.
Yeah. So it would pretty much be the same process. You would just join with your phone.
Well, you would have to initiate.
Or either way, you know what I'm saying? I can find my way to the gym. Well, I can't go outside right now. But I can find my way to a gym. This could be some beautiful content. I'm like, yo, don't let this belly fool y'all, man. I kick ass on the court.
I would love that.
I'm like short. I'm like a combination of Zach Randolph and Jokic on the court. With a little sprint. Yeah, I'm like Zach Randolph and Jokic.
Whatever you say, my man.
That's what that's what they be calling me. Like, there's a guy, he called me Big Jokic, but I'm like, I don't pass that much, but when I do pass, I dime that giant.
you something else, my guy.
I'll be like,
all right, man.
I give my love a no look. That's what I say. I pull that every time I make a good pass.
You're Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
How you good, man? Unfortunately, I have to go ahead and head out.
Yeah,
but
we've been here 2.5 hours. Damn.
Anyway, that was my dude Jay Hall from the Marvelous Live podcast. My name is PScott Kelly. PScott,
all right, bro.
Chopping PScott. Always good. Thanks. You just don't even be rude. All right, well, you guys, you know the drill. Stay up, stay blessed. Catch you guys in the next one.